I think the first thing, I'll speak for everyone here when I say how honored we feel to have so many people coming out to watch us ramble about our little game project. So thank you all very much for coming to see us here.
Yes, welcome to the Overmare Live podcast.
Yeah, you guys do realize that we're making a game for ponies that are like, you know, murdering each other on the internet, right?
Why did that get a round of applause?
All right. Now that we've got that cleared up, we are the Overmare Studios, presented to you by BronyCon. We are super honored to be here and to be invited. This is our first panel ever at BronyCon, and this is the Wasteland Whalers' first ever BronyCon performance. So we are very humbled, so we just want to say thank you to all the staff. That you've been so gracious, and everybody, because really, this is surreal. All right, this has Slack. Awesome. So, how many of y'all know Fallout Equestria? Raise your hand. Whoa! Okay, how many of y'all were dragged here and have no idea what's going on? Hands up. Strap in. First of all, we are the Overmare Studios, always watching. Yeah. Always watching, always operational. We're going to take a little time to introduce the team here. We have four lovely gentlemen. Well, three anyway. We have Dragmeister, who is from Finland. He's our fearless leader, who, when our ship was sinking, found all the wooden nails and Bondo to fix it, has been readied. Bring me all the slaves. He handles basically everything. Anything that happens goes through him. He doesn't micromanage, but he also doesn't let anything slide. We wouldn't be here without him. Give him a big round of applause. Yeah. Next we have Zach, otherwise known as Drag's left hand. He is the design and art lead. Any sort of design, or I've heard people saying like, "Oh, the Wasteland looks so pretty in Ponyville and this and that, and look at all these colors." That is because of Zach's art directing. Can we give him a round of applause, please? More importantly, we have, not more important than Zach, but more important than me. We have Hamish, who handles most of the nuts and bolts. Him and Drag, yep. I have walked into the programming chat when they were talking about algorithms for bullet drop. My brain exploded. Anytime I see his chat and I'm like, oh, gee, I wonder what program is doing. It's like looking into a wizard's lab. Like, I have no idea what's going on, but it looks really cool. So, Yeah, no, they're spectacular. They're handling all the nuts and bolts, and anything that has to do with sound or script. I mean, we haven't really started on the whole sound thing. It's me, Haymaker, and Adam Sporka, who is in Prague right now doing real work and all that good stuff. But we are we take care of the sound, we take care of the Wasteland Whalers songs, we take care of all the rest of the soundtrack. And next year you're going to see more stuff on scripting stuff, and that'll be me. Awesome. Now you know what we do. So, next. What are we exactly? I'll take that. What is the Overmare Studios? Well, we are a well, basically, we're just a whole bunch of people that decided to make an apocalypse pony game in our free time, and so we go to work, we do our stuff, we bust our butt for our 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours, and then we come home and we work on this, and that's what we do, and that's mostly all we do. So we are a studio that was formed back in, we rebranded as the Overmare Studios. How many of you guys have been following us since back in 2012? Wow.
You poor souls.
Yeah.
How many of you remember Equestria Softworks? Wow.
Don't worry, we're trying to forget about it too.
Yeah. So basically back in 2012, those of you who already know, I'm sorry, we have to eat our vegetables first. We were back in we tried to do this back in 2012 as a mod and found out that it was impossible to do in the GEC. So we nuked everything, rebranded as the Overmare, opened up our full game in Unity. Yeah, a couple of people have been coming around the booth and saying oh, how's the mod going? And we have to correct them. This is an actual game that we have built from scratch. And we are pulling most of what we can from the Equestria. Oh, people are leaving. Okay, bye. So we're pulling most of what we can from the Fallout engine, as well as, of course, the My Little Ponyverse, and what a pony apocalypse would actually look like. And so that's who we are. That's what we do. And yep, next slide. This is where we live, all of us. So yeah.
It's actually inaccurate. It's missing Slovakia and Indonesia.
Yeah. But yeah, we basically organize everything through Skype, and we basically have a whole bunch of people across the world making assets for sound, visuals, et cetera, and yeah, looking at this map just blows my mind, because I can't believe that we pulled off as much as we can with this kind of spread. So anyway, yeah.
Basically, it means that we never sleep.
Ever.
Yeah, no.
It was well, Drag needs something, and he's in Finland. It's 10 o'clock right there right now. Yeah, I know it's 5 a.m., but take it, like it, go to bed. So we're making this into a game. For the 20 of you who were dragged here, Fallout Equestria is in fact a fanfic that is on Equestria Daily. It was started and finished in 2012 in 7 months, and it is twice the size of Lord of the Rings. If anybody has ever seen a printed version of it, it comes in 5 books. It's huge. Oh, okay. Thank you. Drag has a first edition print. It's his prized possession. I think he keeps it under lock and key with guard dogs and stuff. It's pretty funny. So the author is K-Cat. Nobody knows who she is. No one's ever seen her. We're convinced she's just a rogue AI that just put Fallout and ponies together, and then out comes Fallout Equestria. But no, she's done spectacular work. If you don't know her, definitely check her out on FimFiction. She does great work with her. I mean, she now RPs a Fallout Equestria, like D&D style game. It's really cool. And she created the world from scratch. She created the world, the rules, and basically what an apocalypse pony situation would look like. And it was good enough to garner a legendary status on Equestria Daily. Yeah. So it is now legendary on Equestria Daily. Here we are 3 years later, and we're still doing it. People are still talking about it. It has done nothing but grow, and it will. I don't see a reason for it to stop growing either. So it's just gonna expand, and we're super excited that we get to do this. Did I miss anything?
Not really, outside of the whole basic backstory of Fallout Equestria.
Oh yeah, the basic backstory of Fallout Equestria, for those of you who don't know, is follows the adventures of Little Pip, who comes out of the stable. How many of you have played Fallout as well?
Okay. So
How many of you have played Fallout, but keep your hands up if you've played Fallout, but you don't know the plot of Fallout Equestria? Okay, for those 3 people over there, basically what happens is it's the same situation that you deal with in Fallout 3. Something bad happens in the stable. You go out, you explore the world, you gather friends, and you realize not only has this apocalypse made this paradise into a wasteland, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's getting worse. And it's about Pip and her group of friends, the singer Velvet, which is why we have our singer here, I guess you could call him a loose cannon, Calamity, and Zenith the zebra, who's awesome, and Homage, who's DJ Pwn 3 2.0. It's about their adventures in the wasteland, and our game will be following that for one of our storylines, but you will be put in the position of Little Pip, and you will have to make all of the tough choices. You are the light bringer. Will you bring light as in bring the sun back, or will you bring light as in the apocalypse thunder and kill everyone? Your move. So, yep. So that's the basic of Fallout Equestria and the basis of what we're doing.
Just for the record, what he said about the raining hellfire down on the earth, that was literally one of the endings. So just so you know.
That's an actual ending. Oh yeah, we have multiple endings that don't include multicolored explosions. Next slide. So how are we making it? Very slowly.
Yes. Lots of duct tape.
So this is, for those of you who know how workflow for those of you who don't know how workflow works, this is chaos. For those of you who do know how workflow works, this is exactly what you think it is. So I'm actually going to let one of you nice folks take care of this because I don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, like Janti said, it's organized chaos at best. Most of the time it's just chaos. And the project is obviously like we aren't just the 4 of us who are making it. We have a whole bunch of excellent and amazing people, around 60 of us in total, who are making it, and like all of them with different like professions and like expertise. So like as you can see there, we have design, we have 2D, 3D, programming, and so on. Like we need all of those. Like one of those doesn't work, nothing works. So yeah, and everyone is coming together just to make the ultimate goal of actually finishing the game one day, before the end of the world, most likely.
Just to check, is there anyone in the team who's in the audience who haven't met? There's one guy.
What?
Oh, don't.
Oh,
What?
one more guy. Fantastic.
You guys are awesome. Give them a round of applause.
There's actually a third, but he doesn't want to put up his hand. We see you.
Sorry. Next. This is what our game looks like so far.
When I step around, I hear the
It's meant to be weird.
Clopping up and down the street. The shuffling of hooves, it surely proves that I'll see you for the day's complete. What is this wonderful feeling in my head? I had it before I got up and out of bed. Just wanna wear a smile and come find you for a while. The colors all so vivid, our friends so green and livid. When we touched, I felt my skin could melt, and I don't want you to quit it. And you're as content as me in our small house by the sea. Now the two's become a three, you and me and Ellie Bean.
So I'm sure a lot of you recognize that as the trailer for our Wave 3 demo, which is available on our website now.
But we will also have a new one coming up by the end of the month, so keep an eye on that.
Indeed, and we'll be telling you about that later. But
Yeah.
for now,
Just, sorry, Hamish, just one very quick thing. That, for those of you who don't know, that was Brittany Church on Step Around. That was the same lovely lady who was here helping us sing Mail It In, so she's the best. She is the best.
Oh, and for those that don't know, we actually have a booth down in, was it 108?
108.
What was I going to say about the
Thank you.
Yeah, and we actually have a playable demo, so you can actually play a newer version than what you saw up there.
How many of you guys have played the new demo in the dealer's room? The rest of you need to get on that.
yes.
You can have a pet Timberwolf on it. So yeah, as mentioned, we work with a bunch of different departments. We don't have time to go over all of them in detail, but let's do with some of them. And those are the departments and the music.
Don't blink. Yeah. That's us. So yeah, the Wasteland Whalers are the fake band that we made up because we thought it would be funny. And we do the original songs, everything from the radio track, and honestly just to play songs because we like making them. Everything you hear on the radio will be in-house, made by us, and everything you hear as like if a radio charges you and you hear that like that stuff too, we're doing that as well. So we are making all of the original songs for Velvet Remedy, the Grown Up Sweetie Belle, Sapphire Shores, the homage stuff, anything else you've heard, and then all of the stuff that happens. So.
And for those of you who haven't heard of the songs or just want to refresh or just like the music, we have a little demo about all the songs that we have.
This one.
When I step around, I hear the sound, clip-a-clopping up and down the street. The shuffling of hooves, it surely proves that I'll see you for the day's complete.
Some can sing pretty songs of love, some have handsome words and grins, but the only time that I see that girl is when I go and mail it in. Is when I go and mail it in.
A flock of friends flew me up, held tight. Bass and the liquor would pound until the daylight, drunk in my brain like a meteor crescendo. Then they started chucking ponies out the window. One by one were thrown off and flew back up doing tricks. It happened fast and somehow
The columns of my city, in youth I would spin 'twixt Mixed ivory shooting slalom with Zephyr, my first friend. Stride one pose to strangle, blood fringe to fringe. We knew the pair of us would scare us up a victory or two.
Take my horn to the window like a weapon and I'm busting the sky. I've been about
That
2
is
seconds.
no way.
I did it all without dropping the beat. So how's it feel to be obsolete? Watch that jaw drop, put that attitude on full stop. Don't need wings to be on top. I'm 3 on the base and I beat you time by 8. So how's that Technicolor hat taste?
Don't you think about running off with her heart in your pocket? Hey, hey there, sweetie Bella, promise when we're out on nervous as hell, she's so down to earth and charming.
So yeah. So we're doing a lot of we're doing a lot of genre merging. You know, we're doing the big band thing, we're doing the country thing, we're doing the folk rock thing, and then we just go straight techno with no whacking in the Fly remix. So expect a lot of genre merging. Expect a lot of a very diverse soundtrack. Any of you who has bought CDs, thank you so much for supporting the band. Those of you who have not bought CDs, you can't because they're sold out. We will have a second printing though, number 1. Number 2, those of you who did buy the CDs would see that there is a volume 1 on the bottom. This is not our last CD. Thank you.
And next up we have some more little visual departments, so 2D and 3D, and obviously they work very closely with our design team, which Jack is the leader of course. And 2D itself is led by Jeff, and 2D does everything about like the whole visualizing everything and making the concept art. And for example, we have some weapons, and those who played the demo already saw this in action.
Yeah, we take very careful, we take a long time to make sure that all the weapons would be something that you could probably see in real life, making sure that like disassembly, making sure that, you know, in real life you could take apart and clean them, fix the sights, just to add those little tweaks into them to make them seem more real.
And then we have something that has a little bit more of a bang.
This is our anti-machine rifle. Funny story about this, we were actually designing up originally to be a 50 caliber rifle, but we watched this video on YouTube of a Spetsnaz soldier with a 20 millimeter anti-tank rifle, and he was just walking around with it against his shoulder, just firing it while standing. And we were like, we should do something like that maybe.
So yeah, as opposed to like many games have like the 50 caliber sniper rifle that will kill everything, we have a 20 millimeter, which is equivalent to about 78 calibers. So.
To be fair, the power armor is basically a tank, so.
Yeah, you're gonna need something to get through that. Yeah, it's not obviously only weapons that 2D works on. We also have environmental concept art. This is concept for the irrigation tower for Sweetable Acres and other places to make sure that all those nice apple trees actually have something to drink. And then we also have creatures, and there is our Radicator concept. That's basically Gummy in the teenage years.
Gummy gone wrong.
He had a rough high school years. Which you can actually see a comparison of how big it's supposed to be compared to the pony over there in the corner too.
And as you can see, the pony is not pleased.
Not someone you would want to find in your bathtub.
Oh, and this is actually going to be a low-level enemy too. You'll find it in Ponyville.
And speaking of Ponyville, let's talk about a little bit about that. So for some of those who actually played the demo at our booth, you already have seen what we have for it right now. But and we just barely prepared that for a little late for the BronyCon.
Which actually, funny enough, some of us here, we actually didn't even see what it looked like until we saw it at the con on the TV.
So yeah, very much specifically for BronyCon. And part of the Ponyville, it's multiple areas, so there is the residence areas with all the buildings and houses and stuff, so that ponies actually have somewhere to live in. But like when we have been designing the Ponyville, like we have been taking a lot of things into consideration, such as the infrastructure, so that it actually makes sense on like where does like the train station be, and like what will be near it, and like so that there is actually something like that you could reasonably believe that there is actually it's a town that ponies live in for a long time, and it takes a lot of design work to actually do all of that, and like the actual design of the general outlook of it so that it looks interesting. Jack spent a lot of time on actually making our layout for it.
Well, to be fair, it was actually Skull that spent most of the time on designing the map.
Very true. My apologies for that. And like something new for Ponyville as well is that we have spent a lot of time on trying to make it as modular as possible when we have been building it, which basically like we wanted to like make sure that we can reuse as much stuff as possible, and like make sure that when we make a building, it isn't just a one-off, and we can just easily like tweak it a little bit and make it more unique. And for that we needed all kinds of modules, so like windows and roofs and like just the walls in general. So like basically this is the idea, that you just have these pieces of a building, and like we can then just mix and match them and get a whole lot of different kind of designs. And this is actually also how Fallout 4 does their buildings. And like here is a little more detailed concept on like our houses, and you can also see the modularity in there as well. But next up, who wants to actually see what the Ponyville is gonna look like?
Nobody skip it.
Yeah, as you can see, like around the town hall, we spent some time trying to think of like what would be in Ponyville. I mean, in the story, Little Pip did travel there, but it didn't spend very much time on the actual location. We knew that raiders were there, but we didn't know what they were doing, what was going on, or, I mean, it's a rather big town, so I mean, there was a lot to fill in. And like you can see, the town hall is basically a giant raider outpost. We have various other raider outposts that are all kind of warring for territory within it. You got different levels, and that's pretty much what this whole town is gonna be. It's just one giant raider town. And from there, it will actually have the first faction that you'll interact with, which will be the raiders.
So unlike in the other Fallout games, you will be able to talk to the raiders and do things for them, work with them, you know, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, so if you do want to go out, steal something from some guy that's just trying to make a living, we're not going to stop you.
And you can also raid caravans, so that Calamity actually has a reason to shoot you for fun once.
So when Calamity mistakes you for a raider, might not be a mistake.
And then, of course, we have our very cool-looking posters that we have been selling. All of these and a whole lot more, about a dozen more, are on sale at our booth. So you should definitely come by and get some.
They look even better in person, trust me.
Yeah, and
they seriously look really nice.
yeah, guys, seriously, even if you're not going to buy anything, just come by and look at stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah. And when the 2D finishes, it goes on to 3D. And like here are some examples on how some of the concepts have been turning up on 3D. Like we have the actual pony model made by Nahka, and something you saw earlier, this is the actual laser rifle finished model.
Which you can actually use in the demo that we have at our booth.
Yes. And here's a jamming animation for the laser rifle. That you can't actually see in the demo because at the moment jamming doesn't work. Our weapons just work all the time. So, but it will be there soon. But yeah, that's the short version of how we work. So what you guys probably want to see is what is coming next, and like, well, before that we have the Wave 4, which is the one that you can play as a demo here, and the Wave 4.5 will be released in month by the end of the month in the public version. So basically, it's a demo that we have here, but with more bug fixes and nimble wolves that actually attack you instead of being your pets, and yeah, and like I said before, it has Ponyville, and it has a bunch of new weapons. Plasma rifle isn't in the demo that you see in the demo like that. That's downstairs. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get it done. We'll hopefully get it by the public release by the end of the month. So look forward to that. It looks really cool. Oh, and there is if you want to download the demo now, you can play something there.
Oh yeah, after Wave 4, we're going to be going into Wave 5. Now that one's going to be a lot more, it's our sort of like a more complete demo. If you remember from last year, we have our Wave 3 compared to, or no, Wave 2, I'm sorry, at the BronyCon demo. Compared that to what we released on our website, there was just, a little bit of fixes on that. So from Wave 4 to 5, again, we'll have a lot more in the game itself. Ponyville will be a lot more complete, have textures and so on and so forth. We'll hopefully have quests in the game, raiders that actually possibly talk to you, and
yeah, and then we have power armor incoming. There we go.
And I will say that if you're expecting something like in New Vegas where it's just pretty much just a cloth that you put over, even just armor, it's a lot more than that.
We are basically taking the Fallout 4 approach and making you feel like you are in a tank.
Yeah, exactly. Think of it like a four-legged tank.
Oh, and on that, we will have probably the Wave 5 on our power armors. We actually have multiple, about 6 or so designs that we have for them.
Yeah, we have about 6 of them, each of which we deliberately made sure that all of them are unique. Each one you can actually use from the start to finish, and each of them have a reason to use. You might find one that's a lot weaker, but it might not degrade as quickly as another one, or you have one that will allow you to move much quicker, but it doesn't have as much armor.
Basically, different armors are going to be suited better for different playstyles, so that it's not just always like there is the one true best armor, Kafka XO1. But yeah, that's about that, and like we mentioned before, we have a booth here and merchandise. Lots of cool stuff there for sale, and you can also play the demo, which you should.
All of which helps fund like our website and all that stuff. Does that the costs for that go up real quick?
Yeah, nothing that we sell there, like none of the profits actually go towards the game development directly. It's just to cover our expenses on the merchandise and some other miscellaneous stuff.
Yeah, it also goes to pay for future appearances for both the studio and the Wasteland Whalers. So
yeah. So that we can actually come to the cons and meet all you cool guys. And here is where we are in the vendor hall. So basically the entrance is at the very bottom. So just turn left, go forward until you reach the corner, turn right, and it's third booth on the right.
Turn left, follow the wall, and look for Blackjack and Pip.
There's also some kind of yellow road or something that you're supposed to follow. I don't know.
And if you still want to know more, we have a website, that you can find more info, and we try to keep up regular blog posts on that. We kind of failed on that during the past couple of months, but we'll try to get back on track. And if you want to help us even more and want to join the team, there is a join us button at the very top.
We may be a team of about 60 people, but we're always looking for more talent.
Except voice actors, because we haven't actually started recording voice lines yet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But there is a wait list on there, so if you are a voice actor and want to help us in the future, possibly, sign up your email and we will email you as soon as the spots open up.
Yep.
So
And
look forward to that.
Yep. As far as music is concerned, we're not looking for any more songwriters. We are, however, looking for instrumentalists. Right now, our horns are digital, along with a lot of our other stuff. So the more real sounding instruments we can get, the better. We're also looking for engineers. So if you are a mixer or a master or somebody who wants to do that kind of back-end stuff, and that's really your jam, I only say that because it's really my jam. We are looking for that. So. Feel free to drop it in an application, give us a demo, like here's my SoundCloud stuff, or like here's a Twitch of me mixing something or whatnot. I'll watch it. Yeah. So Script is currently not accepting any applications because we're still working on the main faction arcs, because we want to make sure that the factions are interesting and cool, and more importantly, when you join Script, you have something to do. So that'll be coming up in the next few months, but other than that, everything else is open.
Yeah, in terms of design, for most part, the game itself is pretty much designed. We have a design doc that's
about 140 pages or something, and that's literally just the very basics of it. We have probably about a couple dozen spreadsheets just for like different kind of stats. So
yeah, all of that is basically done. What we're looking for now are people to help us with map making, people that understand like layouts, people that know Unity. All of that stuff we're looking for. If you have any talent in that, definitely apply.
And next up, we want to hear something for you guys, so let's have a Q&A. There is a mic over there, line up nicely there, ask your question, and we'll do our best to answer them.
In an orderly fashion, thank you.
Oh, yeah, good. Don't trample anyone.
All right.
First up.
Yes.
It's not working? The mic is not working.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Hello.
Okay, I was wondering, you guys are obviously including a lot of the material from K-Cat's Followed Equestria book. Are you including any from the other large projects like Project Horizons, Pink Eyes, and etc.?
Basically, no. We may be including a few Easter eggs or something like that, but in essence, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the story, the basic story itself it's so long that it's gonna take us forever to finish that. So at least we won't be making any other side stories like Project Horizons or Marking Number 7 or Pink Eyes. It's just the original story for us.
Yeah, it's mainly the main story of Fallout Equestria, because anything else that we took on would be like even bigger and even more work. So we're going to get that taken care of first. As far as Project Horizon, Pink Eyes, and all that other good stuff is, we're approaching them on a case-by-case basis. If we see a story or if we see a character that we really like, we might take that element and put it in a side quest. But when it comes to actually doing like full arcs from Project Horizon or Pink Eyes, the blanket answer is no. But we will be doing stuff on a case-by-case basis. One of the good things is, though, Somber, when he has free time, has actually been helping us with quest writing. So.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so I have probably the most important question, I think. Will this game come out after Half-Life 3?
Is Valve having panels about Half-Life 3?
No, they're not.
Asked and answered.
Well, that actually brings up a good point, though. Basically, you shouldn't really think of this game as having a definite release date when it will be done, because it will be in many, many, many years' time if there is one. So what instead we're doing is we're doing incremental builds. So we will start with releasing Stable 2, and then releasing, say, Sweet Harbor Lakers and Ponyville and so on and so forth. And the save games will be compatible across those incremental builds. So you can sort of play the game at a slightly slower pace as we add in more and more content.
Yeah, and honestly, guys, that's actually one of the things, like, I'm just speaking for myself here, but that's one of the things, like, I think is really cool about this project. I mean, like, you're with us on this journey. Like, you're with us on this development, and it's really fun. Because it's like, we did this cool thing, and you're like, oh my god, you did that cool thing, and we're like, we know, and then so...
yeah, and we do actually read all of the posts that
we
come
really
on our forum and stuff, so if you have any suggestions or questions, like, we generally try to answer some of them there as well, and there are other helpful people there, so...
Yep.
Yeah, an important thing to remember is that because none of us are paid, the only thing that really drives us is your feedback, and without it, you know, you lose motivation. So the more you guys get interested in it, the quicker we will work.
Yeah. Could I possibly ask for quiet if that's okay, since everyone who's left has sort of left, if that's all right? Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I was curious, is there going to be more optional companions, unlike, you know, the main ones, Calamity, Velvet, etc.?
Generally speaking, we don't have, we have maybe one or two planned, but that's about it. Like, we won't be, like, there is quite a bit of variety, even just in the base companions, since you have seen it, and Reggie, and like Steelhoos and so on, so we won't be adding too many on them. Like, we have a couple that we are thinking about, but nothing too much.
Yeah, we're thinking less on, like, making new companions and pulling other companions in there. Rather than doing that, we're going to be developing the companions that we already have in the story to be, like, full-fledged companions that you can talk to during quests, like in Dragon Age.
Are you planning on adding any buildable settlements of any sort?
No, I unfortunately pretty much need to say no. Like, we are thinking of some customization options for Junction 7 and so on, but nothing as like intensive as Fallout 4, for example. Like, nothing to that extent.
It's just such a huge system for it that doesn't really, it's sort of a separate thing for the most part, so...
Yeah, like one thing about Fallout 4's settlement system is that we don't really feel that it adds much to the gameplay itself. Like, it's a fun feature to like play around with and like build your own stuff, but it's so like kind of separate of the actual all of the other gameplay that we don't necessarily see it being worth it.
In a similar vein to the last question, is there going to be any sort of weapon customization like in New Vegas or Fallout 4, or is it going to be just flat weapons like in Fallout 3?
We will be having weapon customization. It probably won't be as crazy as Fallout 4, but we are trying to make sure that every single customization is unique, because we do have sort of like two aspects. We have the mods, which are semi-permanent, and then we have the attachments. These are things like scopes and all that sort of stuff that you can take off, add new ones, change them up, and so on. And we're trying to get that so that you have a sort of personalization aspect, but also a sort of buff as well.
Okay, thank you.
So I do have a question, but first off, I just wanted to go off and say thank you very much for taking it down this path and, you know, blazing a trail that before it's almost never seen before, you know, and it takes a lot of courage to do that.
Seriously?
So thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Question, guys. I'm just curious. Out of everything you've been through this entire development and the years of which you've been through this, what has been the most challenging part?
Where do we start?
Everything.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Although probably the initial setup, like whenever we were transitioning from Equestria Softworks over into Overmare Studios, if any of you unfortunately remember Equestria Softworks, that probably was the most difficult, because there was a lot of things that we needed to change, needed to plan. I mean, we had to start completely from scratch with our assets. We had to completely design up our own actual games, as before, we had the Fallout engine to play off of. But in this, we actually had to write up our own design document. We had to plan things and all that. That initial setup took probably at least a year just to fully transition.
We were sort of learning how to be a game studio, essentially, for about 2 years.
We're still learning.
And we're still doing it, so yeah.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I have 2 questions, one for the whole crew and then one for the Wasteland Whalers.
Okay.
They're both easy, so I'm sure you'll pass with flying colors.
What? Oh, you bought a CD?
No, I'll get that. First one is, in many of the concept arts that we've seen from the fandom, and I believe Steel Hooves, there are mounted weapons on the power armor. Will that be a thing?
Yeah, we've got battle saddles, so...
Well, we have battle saddles for just like the regular weapons, but there will be a power armor type that will have something, so look forward to that.
Yeah, but for the most part, things like battle saddles, they're mainly for the Earth ponies, because with trying to design up weapons both for the sort of levitation as well as the battle saddles, it becomes a lot more difficult, because with the battle saddles you don't get as much visual from the weapons itself, which for the most part the weapons, their visuals alone play into the actual gameplay. You see how long the reload is because the actual animation is that long, but if you say have a battle saddle where it's strapped to your side, you can't see any of that, so it's not as visual. So for the player, everything is gonna be levitated, and like Drag said, we will have some things that will be mounted onto the power armor, but for the most part, most of the weapons will just be levitated. But Earth ponies will use battle saddles, so.
Well, that's good for me.
Yeah.
And the second one for the Wasteland Whalers is, Whalers, my mistake. Would you guys be willing to make a cover of 99 Problems?
Isn't that a cover of a cover?
Well, yes, but you guys have not done that cover yet.
We do have a cover album in the works. Anything is possible.
I also have 2 questions, and the first one is, with Fallout 4, we were kind of chained to having one favorite companion. Are we going to be able to have Velvet and Calamity and the whole gang around at the same time, or is it going to be one at a time?
Mass Effect.
Sweet. Second question.
There will be. You will be able to.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you will
we got
be
10
able
minutes.
to.
Let's get through everybody.
Yeah. You will be able to have 2 companions at once.
Okay, this is pretty much just a yes or no. You said that power armor is it's going to be like able to use like from day or really quick and stuff. Does that mean that a level 1 toaster repair pony is going to be able to work power armor like Steel Hooves?
No.
Thank you.
All right, I think 1 question each from now on, if that's okay, just so we can get through as many people as we can. Thanks.
I was wondering, I think like in the Fallout universe, like how many stables are there? The vaults. Like how many are there?
A lot.
Okay, like about 120 or 45 or 455. Or...
We don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know how many will be in the game yet.
Okay. Also, what's your favorite stable?
2.
Yep, that explains a lot.
Hello.
Hi.
First of all, we're all glad to see you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
And you say that you're looking for a command, right? Programmer, engineer, right? Maybe quality assurance.
Programmers, by engineers. I think you only
sound engineers. Sound engineers, absolutely. Send me send me your master tracks. Just link it in Mediafire or whatever, or just YouTube yourself mixing something and show me your process.
Yeah, and regular programmers as well. We need those.
So, yeah, I need if people are going to come in and engineer, I need them to hit the ground running on some tracks. So.
Okay. How about quality assurance testing?
Are we hiring for QA or not?
Are we hiring for QA?
We're not actively looking for QA people right now. I think sound engineer is probably the most important, since we don't actually have any apart from Yondi and one other guy.
And I need to write stuff.
Okay, actually, but I'm quality assurance, so if you will looking for quality assurance, you will write on your site, right? Or
Absolutely,
Yeah, it's all available on. There's this big button on our site that says "Join Us." Click on it. Everything that's open will be there.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you.
So, has Bethesda talked to you guys whatsoever about this?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
We're pretty sure there's a spy.
Yeah, there was about like at least a dozen or 2 dozen ideas, like when Fallout 4 came out, like, hey, that's ours. Like, so they're pretty sure there's a spy, but outside of that, no.
Yep.
Also, Timberwolf dog meat, please.
That wasn't a thing, but it might be now.
Hello.
That actually sounds good.
First off, I just want to say the best of luck to you guys on this massive project. It's a huge undertaking. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm a huge weapons guy, and I have to ask, will there be like a nuke gun?
There is the balefire egg launcher, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is essentially mini nuke.
I'll be anxious to use that. Thank you very much.
Excellent, thank you.
Do you plan on having VR support specifically for the Vive?
No. Like, if you want to try and get it to work, you're welcome to.
Yeah.
If you want to try and mod it so that it works better, you are welcome to as that, but we're not going to be supporting it or anything like that.
Yeah, one of our programmers have made one of our older demos work with the VR, but like we are not actively supporting it.
Which, speaking of mods, funny enough, there's actually a guy on our forums that made a mod loader for our game already.
Yeah.
We don't know how.
Part of my question was already answered, but what are a lot of challenges you've faced with trying to design for first time for like weapons and stuff for ponies and stuff? I know that especially for earth ponies, it's a lot more difficult. Unicorns is probably pretty easy. Well, relatively speaking, other than doing something that's never been done before.
I mean,
I appreciate
honestly,
all the work you've done so far too.
Yeah.
Alright, so my question is, will there be many secrets or Easter eggs in the game?
Tons.
Yeah, definitely tons.
Hi, I wanted to know why you went with the Unity engine over something like the Unreal or CryEngine.
Simple is because at the time we decided on our engine, then Unreal wasn't free. And also because Unity, while it does have some flaws, it is actually quite stable. I've actually heard it's quite a bit more stable than Unreal in terms of how things can break a lot. It's very easy to develop with. It uses C#, which is a really good language. It's much easier and better to develop with than, say, C++. And it's pretty good for our purposes, I would say. So
Yeah, and at this point, like if we wanted to switch now, like we would be looking at 2 more years until we get to the stage we are now. So not worried.
And we're 5 minutes.
5 minutes. So
Okay.
2 more questions. I think. 2 more questions.
Is your armor system going to be like Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas, or is it going to be something unique?
I'm sorry, what was the first part of that? Is what?
Is your armor system, as in kind of like damage threshold or damage resistance, going to be reminiscent of Fallout 3 or New Vegas?
We are sort of creating our own sort of system to take the benefits of both and work them into the game. There won't be any singular system, though, currently.
Una mas. And guys, if you didn't get your, I'm sorry, 1 second. If you didn't get your question answered, come down to the booth and talk to us. We'll be there all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And tomorrow.
And tomorrow as well.
And tomorrow.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier in the panel about how the power armors will be unique to each other and stuff. Now, will there be like using the unique weapons, like say the Enclave armor with like the energy weapons in the antenna?
Was the question that will the power armors have unique weapons on them? Or can you repeat the question?
Well, like unique like weapons for each of the power armors.
No, like but there won't be like unique weapons for the power armors. Like they will have other like abilities and other stuff, sort of stuff. And like for one, there will be a power armor that has a jetpack. So.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
That
I think that
was
covers
it.
everything.
So thank you everyone for coming. You have been
Thanks,
a fantastic
guys.
audience. We love you guys.
Thank you. And like we mentioned, we can't really accept donations online. Well, we're looking into it, but honestly, the only money that we can collect from you guys is down at our booth, and it is going to cover server costs, all of our costs that we've been putting, because before we did this, we've been paying for everything out of pocket. So please come down, please support. We love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.